Good morning. Welcome to our Monday morning meditation on this beautiful spring day, spring week. This is actually Easter Sunday. It's Ramadan. It's a Hanuman celebration in India and other Hindi communities, and Passover. So we have a lot of world celebrations going on this week, and I just think that's significant. Anytime we are gathering across the world to celebrate a a similar time, there's an energy that builds up. It doesn't matter. Honestly, somebody might be upset with me for saying this, but it doesn't matter what we're celebrating. It's that we're celebrating and that we are acknowledging a time that is important to whatever culture we are a part of. And, and to have that common pause. We have some people studying their taxes this week also for tomorrow. So we have a common um, thought process, a common openness to something greater than ourselves, whether it's the IRS um, or our spiritual belief system. And even if you don't have a spiritual belief system, there's there's still that energy in the atmosphere of so many communities right now, so many people acknowledging their higher power, that, acknowledging their community, acknowledging each other. And even when we're acknowledging each other, that's something greater than just ourselves. We're acknowledging those around us. We're acknowledging that, hey, we pay our taxes to keep our country running, and such as it is sometimes. And we just acknowledge that common, common ground, common ground, common ground. I was thinking earlier this week that the pandemic was a time where we all had something in common. There was no person on the planet who wasn't affected by what was happening in the pandemic. Hopefully they weren't one of the people to fall ill, but we all had to deal with that situation. And we did it with as much poise as we were willing to do, willing to give. And right now our world is in somewhat of upheaval, if I can say that, to put it mildly. And our job, again, when we're focusing on our Monday morning meditation, our job is to just take care of what's happening on the inside, to breathe and be aware of what is affecting us, what is affecting our world. And yes, absolutely, to pay attention to the things we need to pay attention to for our own life and our own um, well-being. And one of the things that stood out to me in my own process this week has been asking for support, asking for help. And we can ask others for help, but we can ask within ourselves. When we are in a tizzy in our mind, we get into fear, we get into anger, we get into sadness, we get into despair, we get into rage, whatever that gamut of emotions that we can get into as human beings, which is fine, it's normal, it's understandable, but it doesn't help us think clearly. But to be able to recognize those emotions and say, okay, I need to step back from this for a minute, maybe for more than a minute, and just let it go. Just let it go and ask, okay, here's the situation. And what we're letting go of is our emotion around the situation. We're not denying it. We're taking a step back from it and tapping into that heart of ourselves, the one that we tap into during our meditation time, and ask, what is it that I need to do in this situation? What do I need to do in this situation? And then we listen for that answer that feels calm and as clear as it possibly can through our own human experience of the situation. And we listen and we follow that. And usually that is just the little next step that is part of our world. It's just the little next step. And we take that step. And then we go to the next step. And then we go to the next step. But we're never really, I don't want to say never, but generally we're not shown the whole picture. We're just shown the next step. And that's true always, because so many things are changing day to day. And actually, what's happening in our world, whether it's our political world or our own personal world, is always giving us the opportunity to just focus on one step at a time. I shared last week that I'm in the middle of a move from one home to the other, very locally. And my mind loves planning. I love figuring things out, and I can't because I have to still remain where I am right now, but pack. And I can't do anything until my move-in date, which is not as soon as I would like it to be. So that is what I'm dealing with. Packing is important, and I found myself this weekend feeling completely overwhelmed about what to pack next. How much time do I need to spend packing? I have my inner work that I do also. I've got my career work that I do also. And so it's important to balance everything. And my brain wants to go and just pack everything and just sit around with a bunch of boxes, I guess, is what the plan is. But yeah, that's not going to work either. So I sat down. I did what I'm talking to you about today. I sat down, I just let it all go, and I just asked, okay, how can I organize this move? So I'm pacing myself, and I just sat there with that for a minute. I let go of my ideas. I quieted my mind as best as I could, and I just started being downloaded, so to speak, with, okay, so I need to do my my candles. If I do all my candles in a box all around my house, that will be a focused step in the right direction. And then it was all my tchotchkes in my spare room. So I packed all those, and I have this whole list that I get to go one by one, and then I don't have to think about it. Then it's not twirling around in my head every single day until I figure out what I'm going to do next. And usually, when I'm trying to manage things in my mind, I end up twirling around and going into a room and forgetting what I was there for. I do that anyway, but especially if I have lots of things that I'm trying to figure out. But if I have it written down, then I'm a step away from it. I'm a step away from it, and I can look and see this is what I need to do next. I can do it, cross it off my list, and all of that inner stress and tizzy is gone. I don't have to do it. It can start to go up, but then I can remind myself, I have a list for that. I don't need to think about it. And then I can come back to my center and proceed more presently with myself, more presently with myself. And that's what this is about. That's such a silly example, but it's so when we can when we can do it in the small things, if you want to consider a move small thing. If we can do it in the small things, then it's easier when there's a bigger situation that we have more emotion around or that we have more investment in. So the process is still the same. Stop, step back, breathe, and ask, what do I need to do here? What do I need to do here? And just start brainstorming some ideas. I always tell people in my practice as a therapist, we are in a different part of our brain when we can write something down. We are already a step back from whatever's going on. When we keep it in our head and try to figure it out in our head, which we think we're so good at, and nobody is good at that. We're all terrible at that for the most part, for bigger things. But when we can write it down, we are taking a step back from it, and suddenly it goes from this imagination that is attached to the emotional part of the brain, and where everything swirls around and we're on, well, I can do this and this and this, or I can do this and this and this. Oh, but I can do this and this and this. And it goes back and forth and back and forth. But when we write it down, it's in one place. We are stepping into the logical, rational part of our brain, and we can see things more clearly. We're less dealing with it from emotion, and now we've kicked in our rational mind. And plus, for those of you who are into this, that clears things out too, so that we can be more receptive intuitively also. And that is really what we're going for. But if we can kick in that rational mind, that is a step in the right direction. It's a step above emotion anyway. So in our meditation time, I've talked a lot today. In our meditation time, we are practicing that step away. We are practicing clearing the mind so that we can think more clearly, more calmly, and support our nervous systems in feeling safe no matter what. Feeling safe no matter what, because we trust ourselves. We are going to be okay no matter what. We're going to make sure of that no matter what. And that is what we're tapping into, that inner strength, that inner calm that is part of who we are. It is part of who we are. Absolutely. It is our natural state. So let's take some time right now to tap into that. And I've talked a lot. I've stirred myself up. So we're just going to take a couple of deep breaths and let everything go. Whatever it is that you've brought to the table today, we're just letting it all go. Just breathe. Breathe through the belly. The breath calms the body, and the breath focuses the mind. And our quick breath method focuses both the mind and synchronizes it with the body. And it gives the mind something to do as we count to 4, breathing in, and count to 4, breathing out. Calm, slow breaths through the belly, through the diaphragm. And our count breathing in is 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004. To keep it steady and slow, not too fast. And the same as we exhale, 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004. Breathing in to the count of 4, breathing out to the count of 4. Feeling that belly expand as we breathe in and relax as we breathe out. And the next step in our quick breath is to just visualize the top of your heart. I like to put my finger there to help my mind zero in on that location. Feel your attention in that heart area. And just notice what your experience is as you focus on that heart center. Perhaps you feel the body calm even further. Perhaps you feel the mind quiet down even further. And perhaps you feel your energy expanding beyond your body, all around you. Just let it go. Let it expand. And we tap into all of those hearts across the world who are honoring something. They're honoring their higher presence, higher power. They're honoring each other. And we tap in to that love with our own energy right now. And we hold this planet in this love. All the individual human beings, all the individual living things. And if you have time to stay in this space of love today, I invite you to do so. If you need to go about your day, I invite you to just take a deep breath or two to switch gears. And we bring with us into our week ahead this celebration of light, of Easter and all of Easter week, Passover, Ramadan, the celebration of Hanuman, spring break, every level of celebration that's happening, taxes being turned in and done with for the year, all of that. Every human being is working through something this week, and we just add our love and support to that whole energy. And we keep it in mind for ourselves, keep it in heart for ourselves this week, to be able to step back, breathe, look at things in a new way, and proceed from this heart space. And I thank you for joining me today. So good to have this time with you, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye-bye.